Hey guys, so in today's video, I wanted to take you through another case study for a cleaning business that we work for on the Google Ads side. So, as you can see here, this cleaning business based in Washington, DC. They run a house cleaning business, and so we're obviously going after clients that are looking for house cleaning, residential cleaning, maid service, those types of keywords. So as you can see, I've just pulled up the last 30 days worth of data just to share the data with you. So in the last 30 days, we spent $900, had 110 clicks. The cost per click has been just over $8. And there's various data here. Don't worry too much about it. But if we go right to the end, the conversion columns, the important columns, you'll see that we've generated 36 leads. So they are a mix of phone calls and a mix of online inquiries at a $25 cost per lead, which is very, very good. And you can see the reason for that very, very good cost per lead is this conversion rate. So we're getting a 32%, 33% conversion rate. So that is telling us that for every 3 people that click on our advert, 1 person is either picking up the phone, giving us a call, or filling out an online form to find out some further information. So 32% is super high. Usually with the clients that I work with, we aim for a long-term 20% number. But as you can see here, we're getting some really good results for this client here. So getting leads in at just over $25 a lead. So if we click in here and just show you some of the keywords that we've got running here, as you'll see here, in this first column, there are a mix of all the usual variants that you would expect. We've got house cleaning company, we've got house cleaning services, we've also got the keywords with the locations in there. So maid service, Washington, DC, cleaning services near me. Sometimes we find that the conversion rates, the performance of those geo amended keywords is even better than the more generic ones. So we want to be making sure that we're splitting out the data across all these different keywords. And the reason for that is that once we get the first few months under our belt and we've got a solid amount of data, this is where things start to get really interesting, because we can start to break out this data on a keyword level. So if you imagine if we only had 1 keyword and it was house cleaning services and there weren't any of the keywords, all the data would get lumped into that single keyword, and we wouldn't be able to split out the data in this interesting way. So as you can see here, what we're starting to find is that, we've only had a month's worth of data, so it's not a huge amount of data, but we're starting to see what the conversions are looking like at a keyword level. So an example of one that's, a couple that are performing really well, is house cleaning phrase match keyword. We're getting leads at $16, $17. Down here, cleaning services near me, $19. And then some higher ones. So house cleaning company, $40. Cleaning services, $33. So the reason why this is interesting, and this is the reason why this allows us to take a next step in performance once we have the data broken out in this way, is that we can start to see which keywords are performing better than others. So in theory, if we put more of our money into this lower cost per lead keyword and took it away from the higher, we'll get more leads overall in our account for that same budget than we would do at the beginning. So, in theory and at a very basic level, this is the position we're trying to get at. We're splitting up all these keywords, all these different variations. We are running the campaign. We've got all the conversion tracking set up correctly. So we're tracking all the calls, all the online inquiries, because many people don't have this watertight. If you aren't tracking all your conversions properly, then the numbers here are meaningless. You don't know if certain keywords are better than others. So we need to get the conversions tracking very very closely. And once we start to see this data, once we get a few months data under our belts, and once we've got a few more conversions here to make the data set statistically significant, we can then start to plow more of our money into the lower cost per lead keywords. And we can do this in various ways. You know, really depending on your bid strategies, there are lots of different ways that you can bid for these keywords. There's various manual bidding strategies. There are various automated bidding strategies. You can do max conversion strategies. You can put caps on those max conversion strategies. There's lots of different ways that we can chop and change this data to try and ramp up the performance. So as I said, as we get to this position, if the search terms are tight, we're getting good data, we're getting enough spend through the account, that's when we get to that 20% and a higher level. And as you can see in this client, we're at over 30%, which is really, really high. And we're getting leads at, this $25, which is incredibly low, because if you think, for example, in my business, we close, 1 in 3 leads to a client. So, cost per lead of 25 times 3 would be $75 cost to acquire that client. And let's say 1 in 2 of every new client that you bring on is a recurring client. So the cost to bring on a recurring client would be $75 times 2. So we're getting 1 new recurring client for $150. If we take that a step further, and there's a reason why I'm taking you through this process, is if we know the value of 1 new recurring client in our business, if we know how long they stay with us on average and how much on average they spend with each clean, then we can calculate the lifetime value. So in my cleaning business, 1 new recurring client stays with us for on average 18 months. The gross profit, so the profit that is left after we pay our cleaners to do those jobs, is $2,700 over the lifetime of that client. So we know that if we can bring in 1 new recurring client to our business, it's worth $2,700 across the 18 months. So in this case, if Google Ads is getting us 1 new recurring client at $150 and we're getting $2,700 back, that's a nearly 20 times return on investment. That is hugely profitable. If you're in that position, you're making huge amounts of money. And really, if you've got enough cleaners, enough capacity, you want to be giving Google as much of your money as possible. So that's a slight detour here, but this is why, this number, this $25 number is really, really low. And obviously the lower, the better, but, we'd be making really great money on getting leads at 25 a piece. So these are the keywords we select. The match types denote, the variation of the keywords that we get and are happy with. So an exact match is very specifically on this keyword. A phrase match would mean any string of words that contain these words. You can get broad match, which is even wider than that. Obviously in all those cases, as you go from exact to broad, you're putting yourself in front of more keywords, more volume, but that volume may not be as highly converting. So one of the skills of managing these campaigns is looking at your ad budget and looking at, where on that line you want to be placed, so that you're getting enough leads to hit your budget, but you're not, you're not spending and wasting your money on clicks that aren't going to generate business. So if we go down to the search terms report, we'll be able to see the types of searches that we're coming up for. The search term is the exact string of words that people are searching for in Google and, our ad coming up for. I'll just unfilter these so we get the full data. But if we filter it by the clicks, we'll see here, we've got various cleaning services near me, house cleaners near me, cleaning company near me, cleaning services near me. These are all great phrases. As you'll see here, we still get some that fall through the nets. These Lily's cleaning services, Olga's cleaning services. These are example of competitor terms, and we want to be stripping those out because generally the conversion rates and someone typing in Lily's cleaning service, and if they click on our ad, it's going to be a lot lower than someone typing in cleaning services. But the idea is that if we can get the majority of these search terms as we look down the line being, high intent searches, cleaning services near me, house cleaners near me, anytime there's the location included in the search term, that's a great highly converting search there. So if we can maximize the amount of our visibility in these searches and reduce our visibility for these competitor terms and other irrelevant terms, that's when we take the campaign even to a higher level there as well. So That's just a quick run through of this campaign for you guys. As I said, this this is a big location, but you can see what is possible if if you're tuned in and running a highly a highly ROI generative campaign. 32% conversion rate, $25 cost per leads. I guess the final thing that may be of interest for you guys is just the search impression share number. Don't worry about too much about these other columns. That just splits the data out in more detail. But what the search impression share number is telling us is that we are only showing up for 10% of the searches at the moment. And many people think that, say you're based in DC and you're bidding for the keyword maid service near me, that every time someone searches for that in that location, your ad will show up for. But that's not the case, because on page 1 on Google, there's 8 Google Ads positions that you can be in, and normally there are many more than 8 companies bidding for those keywords. There can be there's more than 8 companies in DC that are competing for Google Ads. That's an absolute certainty. So what you find is that you won't show up for every single search that's happening. You may not show up for a search because one of your competitors has outbid for that keyword, or maybe you've already spent all your money for that day, or maybe you are only running ads 9 till 5 during the day rather than the evening, and if the search is happening in the evening, you won't show up for that either. But the reason why a low number here is really good is that this is telling me that if we're running this campaign at a 32% conversion rate and getting leads at $25 a piece, there's still a lot more of the market to go. We're only showing up for 10% of these searches. So if we had cleaning capacity, we could double this spend. We could go to 2,000, we could go to 3,000, and this number probably still won't go up to, say, 70% or 80%. So this means that, as I told you, taking you through that return on investment calculation based on your recurring clients, if we're making lots of money and we've got lots of capacity, we can simply up our spend on Google Ads, and we know that we'll continue to get these types of numbers for that additional spend. So we're going from 36 leads to 72 to 100 plus. And usually what would happen is, if we were capping out our search impression share, that you would find that the conversion rate goes down slightly. It's harder to get those leads, but because we are at a low percent here, there's still the ability to ramp things up at these same conversion rate numbers. So that's a little additional bit of information there, and that just gives you another data point to look at if you're looking to ramp up your Google Ads campaigns. But anyway, I hope that's that's been helpful. Do let me know if you've got any questions. As I as well as having my own cleaning business, I manage Google Ads campaigns for 35 plus countries all around the world. So if you are potentially interested in me looking at your campaign or running a campaign for you, I'll leave the link to my website, Project 83, in the description, and you can get in touch via the website with me. All right then, guys, I'll leave it at that. Many thanks.